The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
4 Januaries ago, white supremacists waged the deadliest terrorist attack on American soil.
It was one of the worst moments in American history.
It was a moment that saw nearly 3,000 people murdered by an army of white Christian Trump supporters who crashed 4 jumbo jets into our World Trade Center and Pentagon. Oh, wait a minute. Silly me. That was the other thing that happened some time ago. 9/11. Excuse my ethnocentrism. Who are we to call them terrorists? They were just,
Some people did something?
Some of those people are now free. You've crash-landed in Wokeistan with MRC-TV and Culture. I'm your tour guide, Justine Brooke Murray. Do you recognize this place? How about this place? At one point, those streets might have been familiar to you, but it all seems so foreign now. The people from the UK and the US didn't actually have to travel to get here. You didn't really leave or go anywhere. You're still home. And whether you blindly consented to it or not, at some point your leaders allowed you to wake up to a home entirely changed.
It's this whole other country.
It's a post-Western world where terrorism is as fluid of a term as the definition of a woman. Terrorists aren't hostile foreigners mass murdering the citizens who are already here as a means to impose their 7th century way of life. Our leaders, media, and cultural overlords have decided the people they represent are the true enemies. Our enemies are their new bosses, and therefore more equal than we are. People protesting their own government at the government's Capitol building, some with the permission of security, pose an atrocity as wicked as
World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery. We need to never forget.
On the other hand, we should probably
move on
from old grudges like that car which happened to ram itself into a crowd of New Year's celebrators last week.
The pickup truck driving into a crowd of people.
Those silly pickup trucks have a mind of their own, like that assault weapon which also recently decided to get up on its own and walk itself to a Christian school. Pay no mind to the guy shooting the gun in the name of freeing Palestine. The victims weren't the right victims. Just like the victims of 9/11, which happened so long ago, why not just give those masterminds a second chance to blow us all up? Joe Biden is just following the footsteps of Barack Hussein Obama by marking the end of his presidency with a good old Guantanamo dump. After all, like every attempt to wipe out a Western population, we need to understand it.
Depending upon the context.
We can't go around labeling our jihadists rioting for another 9/11 in our streets for over a year jihadists.
She's calling everyone jihadists and causing problems.
That's Islamophobic! Don't you know our Department of Justice says only white people, Catholics, and moms protesting perverts on their school board are terrorists? It's apparently why they were just too busy to notice the obvious warning signs of last week's totally not terrorist car ramming.
This is not a terrorist event.
Pay no mind to that giant ISIS flag attached to the truck involved, which local authorities immediately hid away. Officer DEI confirmed it. And when it was indeed terrorism, when the local mayor confirmed it, how could you say that?
I just think the mayor made a mistake. Let's just, in some ways move on. It has to be clarified. I do not think she should have come out.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's terrorism, but you're just making things difficult because you're contradicting CNN's narrative, so shut up! Only Trump supporters can be terrorists.
He continues to be the leader of an organization that uses violence or the threat of violence to disrupt democratic processes. That is terrorism.
And Trump supporters are all white. Just like the suspect who was your average white American Joe Schmo from Texas. Don't even think about assuming anything else. And when it turned out our American Joe was actually Samshu Dinjabar, well, the media will just pull a bunch of whataboutisms until they can gaslight white people.
You know, it's a really big problem, which is young white men in America.
Just like those far-right children in Britain who dare disrupt
community relations
with friendly newcomers who raped them.
I do not want Britain to be a place where British Muslims are not able to be their whole selves.
Aw, you were sodomized and gang raped at 13 years old? Bend over and take it! We're a multicultural society now, which means you need to respect third world imports for being themselves, even if that means they don't see you as human. Like the unhuman females whose fate was cheered on by the post-Western West as they were sexually butchered by Gazan freedom fighters. We've gone so progressive that you exchange your pink pussy hat for a keffiyeh to wrap around your mind in order to think that regressing society is somehow moving forward instead of moving backward. That wraps today's episode. Make sure you tune into my show every week where I bring you the left's most insane moments and expose their latest attempts to weaken the West. Then hit the like on YouTube, plus on Rumble, follow us on social media, comment below what you think, and don't cave to the leftist media agenda. If you like the work we do here at MRC, please consider donating at mrc.org/donate. It's the best way to help our movement. Thanks for joining us.